Hello, I'm Boyd Matheson. Welcome to another session of the Savvy Sowgi series. If this is your first time watching, let me clarify that Sowgi is an acronym, which stands for Someone Who Gets It. Now, the fact you're watching this video makes me think that you probably are on your way to becoming a Savvy Sowgi. And you know people who are Savvy Sowgis because they're the people in your life that make things happen, get things done, have an impact, and truly make a difference in their community. Today, we're going to discuss a simple but very powerful aspect of being a Savvy Sowgi, which is character. Dale Carnegie said, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation. Your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what other people think about you." And in a world with a 24/7 news cycle, numerous people, politicians, celebrity, and business leaders spend an extraordinary amount of time managing their reputation. And while brand and reputation management is an important discipline, far too many are too concerned about it merely from a superficial standpoint. They're concerned with what everybody else thinks of them. What you must recognize is that your character, or the character of your company, is what matters most in the end. Your character will ultimately confirm that your reputation, good or bad, was right. When you put your character first, everything else falls into place. Many individuals and companies have lost their way by changing their behavior or performance based on what their prevailing reputation was at the moment. This strategy usually leads to short-sighted decision-making, compromises in critical principles, and a never-ending attempt to please others. The great comedian Bill Cosby once said, "I don't know the definition of success, but I do know the definition of failure. Failure is trying to please everybody all the time." You simply can't be obsessed or concerned with what others think about you. This is true about your business, your role as a leader, and in your personal life as well. Trying to please everyone by reacting or responding to their current opinion of you will ultimately run you and your business ragged. So instead of swinging on the shifting sands of reputation, spend your time today ensuring you are building your business and leading your life on the rock-solid principles at the heart of your character. Evaluate your decision-making to see if there have been times where you've allowed what others thought or what they might have thought to influence your decision-making. Decision-making is hard enough as it is. Don't cloud the waters by trying to be a pleaser as well. Remember, in the end, your character is who you really are and who you really will be based on what you've actually done and not what other people think. Identify the core of your character and what is it that makes you and your business truly what you are today, and then live by it. So, how do you develop real character? Well, a few years ago, I wrote a newspaper article focused on what character traits college athletics should be promoting versus what they are currently developing. These same traits are the core and center of great leaders, great spouses, great parents, great neighbors, and great friends. And great Sowgis, by the way. So in honor of a man of character and a true Sowgi who changed my life forever, I want to share the following. So according to the NCAA, college football, the 2 weeks of non-stop football between Christmas and New Year's are supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, with 32 highly hyped and corporately sponsored football bowl games, supposedly featuring terrific young men who are altruistically committed to their teammates and schools, with wise coaches who are equally committed to building character in their players while serving their communities. Yet, it seems that the stories of what college football is supposed to be about, hard work, common goals, overcoming adversity, pride, character, teamwork, and sportsmanship, are becoming few and far too much in between. Instead, we're force-fed kind of an unsettling and indigestion-inducing buffet of stories about barroom brawls, boosters bankrolling the breaking of rules, police reports instead of history reports, scores relating to DUI or DWI instead of SAT and ACT scores. And you have administrators who are allowing or ignoring academic fraud and thugs who get a free pass because they're talented enough to either throw or catch one. Now, while the list of problems and what is wrong with college athletics today is long and lengthening, the list of solutions seems to be very short and is usually presented by shoulder-shrugging administrators who swiftly pass the buck or say it's simply beyond their control. Well, I was recently given a gift that caused me to wonder if the solution to what ails college athletics is found in character and could be as simple as a letter on a sweater. Now, the gift I received came from my great uncle, Marvin Pugh, who at the age of 98 is the oldest living letterman from the University of Utah football team. Marv played guard for the Utes from 1931 to 1935. Uncle Marv presented me with one of his prized letterman sweaters. And equally important, he gave me a copy of the letter he had received from the University of Utah Athletic Council at the time he was given that sweater and became an official U-man. Beholding that bold letter U stitched on that deep crimson red sweater while reading the letter from the council caused me to see how simple the lessons of the gridiron had become a bedrock of true character, which Marvin Pugh then parlayed into a life of significance and service with a legacy of loyalty, leadership, and love. Now, I'm going to read you that letter. And as I read this letter from the Athletic Council, think of what could happen if every NCAA athlete was committed to living up to the standard of the letter on their sweater. And think of what kind of character could be produced if we did this in our communities. The letter is dated May 15th, 1934. It says, Marvin Pugh, you are being granted a sweater emblematic of an athlete who has won his right to wear the official U. This means you've complied with all the rules of competition as laid down by the Rocky Mountain Conference and also your own institution. You've met the athletic rules, but also the scholastic rules. You've proved your absolute right to this award, and it's an honor for us to present it to you. The award is not merely a sweater with an emblem on it. It has years of tradition behind it. It stands for something far more than a mere piece of clothing. It means loyalty and service to your school. That's character. Now for a bit of advice in its use. I love this part. It says, this sweater is given to you and you alone. The public recognizes its wearer as having achieved a certain athletic distinction. That is something you cannot transfer or sell to others. No one else has the right to wear your sweater. I think no matter how cute she was the issue there. The sweater is given to honor you and you alone, and you have no authority to pass that honor on to someone else. This includes the trading of your sweaters with other you men. The type of sweater you have is given to recognize by the public as meaning a certain thing, and you have no authority to trade that with others. It is vital that you keep your sweater clean, and under no condition should you wear it when it is not clean. We want you to use it. We like to have people respect you for having won such distinction, but that respect can only be maintained if you keep the sweater clean and under no conditions trade it. It's made of excellent material and will withstand good cleaning. Utah's proud to publicly mark you as one of its honored sons. Do your fair part as one of those honored sons to continue to merit that honor. One other thing. By wearing this sweater, this is character now, you identify yourself as an athlete, as a high-minded man and a gentleman. And in doing so, it is your duty to wear the sweater only where respectable men gather. Now, these are very, very simple, very powerful principles. These are the principles of character. So they're simple, powerful, practical words and principles that not only led Marvin Pugh to do things that mattered during his playing days, but also set him on a path towards a life of meaning, doing things that mattered far more than scoring points or winning championship games. So think about it. How would the landscape of college football change if letterman sweaters were only awarded to those who lived up to a higher standard of personal behavior and character? What if instead of wearing the sweater as a way to get perks and privileges and payoffs, athletes wore them to demonstrate their commitment, loyalty and service to their schools? How would the culture within athletic departments change if, rather than wearing their letter with an attitude of entitlement, student athletes wore them gratefully, with humility, and with the quiet dignity that comes from being an honored son of the university? And how many people, young and old, would be inspired to be better people of character if athletes really were worthy role models and wore their Letterman sweater or jacket as an emblem of their commitment to being a high-minded man, a true gentleman, and a person of character? So as a savvy Sowgi, I'm going to ask you to pause and ponder your character. And what are the simple things that identify those symbols or sweaters that show your character and what you believe? The significance of what your character represents to the world and those that you interact with every day matters. And while Marvin Pugh's playing days at the University of Utah back in the 1930s were never really recorded in the history books, by living up to the standard of character of the letter on his U sweater, his impact and influence has been recorded in the hearts and minds and souls of so many other people around the world. Marvin Pugh made and continues to make a difference as a U man, as a loyal man, as a serving man, as an athletic man, as a high-minded man, and as a gentleman. In short, he exemplifies the simple solution, not only for what ails college athletics today, but really what's killing our country and society. He has shown the power of living to a higher standard and the impact of a simple symbol, like a letter on a sweater. So to become a true savvy Sowgi, you must develop character, because character matters most. What does yours say about you? I'm Boyd Matheson, wishing you all the best in your personal quest to achieve the extraordinary.